Hi, I'm Nancy Lucina. I'm a spiritual guide for women across the entirety of the female experience. And today I want to talk about prayer. So, I was recently doing a one-to-one intuitive guidance with an amazing client that I'm working with lately, and we were talking about prayer. I gave her the assignment to build an altar in her space somewhere. And what I mean by altar is really just a place where you can carve out a feeling of sanctuary. So it can be as simple as a little piece of fabric with a candle on it, or as ornate as a table with different sculptures and little messages for yourself and flowers and candles, however you want to do it. An altar space is so essential for me every day because it's a place where I go to anchor in a sense of being connected to the divine. And it's where I often go to pray. And so she was asking me about this, and we started talking about how awkward prayer can be when you're first getting started. Like, how do I even do this? And is there a certain way to do it? Am I doing it right? And so I wanted to give today a little bit of a different definition of prayer. What I told her my definition of prayer is intimacy with my own soul. And this is where I've had the most profound breakthroughs when I'm praying, is when I just allow myself to get really intimate with my own soul, with my own spirit, and I let that very ancient, deep part of myself speak out into existence what it is that I need help with, that I'm maybe worried about, that I'm wanting to call in. And so for me, prayer is less about praying to something outside of myself, but rather this invitation to activate something really deep within and give voice to that ancient, deep knowing. It's also a time where I can let go of all my masks, including even my mask of being human, of just being here in this body, on this earth realm. It's a chance to just get really naked and bare my soul to the divine, to the great mystery, to God, whatever word you want to put on it. And then from that space of feeling really naked, there's this vulnerability that comes up. And then a lot of things can be unloaded from your heart and from your soul. And once they're just spoken out, there can be this immediate relief that washes over. Often then you'll come into contact with emotions that have been hidden under the surface. So maybe tears start to come, or maybe you're really angry with God. Maybe you are experiencing loss right now, or something really difficult, and you are in a period of grief. I've been there. I lost my daughter a little more than a year ago now, and I have been very angry at God from time to time because of this loss. And speaking that anger out in prayer is actually sometimes the first place to start. So a lot of women or people get hung up on, like, am I doing this correctly? Is there a certain way to do it? And then they may avoid prayer altogether. And I think that it's really the intimacy part that we want to touch in on, because as we get those emotions moving, then we get to find out what's underneath the anger and rage, what's underneath the sadness. Underneath all of that lie different desires. And then underneath those desires lie different needs. And then we get to voice those needs. We get to ask for help. We get to really let ourselves get down on our knees and also access a state of humility of, you know what? I don't always know what I'm doing here. It can be sometimes really hard. I'm struggling in this way. I need help in these certain arenas of my life. I'm feeling stuck. Here are my needs. And then, of course, I always like to round out prayer by eventually ending, hopefully, ideally, in a state of gratitude, where I can really hone in on what is actually working in my life. What are the amazing blessings that I have to give thanks for every day, and bring those up? Because the more that we show life that we are grateful, the more life will give us those things that really make us grateful. And then, of course, if we want to loop other people into our prayers who are needing help, we can do that toward the end too. But I think that first step in prayer is that reframing of this is intimacy with my soul. This doesn't need to be a certain way. It can actually be an unveiling. And then underneath that lies all of these jewels that we can harvest throughout the days following that very intimate and strong prayer. So I hope this helps you. If you are interested in prayer and ritual and ceremony, I am doing new moon ceremonies once a month. I have one coming up soon, so make sure to check the caption for more information. And I also offer one-to-one intuitive guidance for women. Thanks for tuning in.